I have to say, if you were to tell me they were to reboot the Saints Row franchise, I would be surprised. In fact, the Saints Row reboot was kind of a nostalgia trip and also was not. I played Saints Row 1, thought it was really good. Saints Row 2 was even better. Saints Row 3 was more on the okay side, but it became a little linear and got really over the top with its action. Saints Row 4 seemed more like a DLC. It was basically the same Saints Row 3 except you add superpowers. And I'm not knocking Saints Row 4 for using the same model as Saints Row 3. There are plenty of video games that could do that formula and pull it off. Majora's Mask from Ocarina of Time in the Zelda franchise is a perfect example of how it could be done well. But it felt to me like Saints Row 4 after I played it was trying too hard, so I stopped with Saints Row, and then they came out of Gat Out of Hell, which I never played, but it seemed like a DLC from a DLC, and when you get a DLC from a DLC, you know Saints Row screwed up really bad. But the new Saints Row is getting a lot of negative backlash. Some of it is earned and some of it is not. For people saying that Saints Row lost its identity, it lost that at Saints Row 3 very gradually and then went off the rails in Saints Row 4, at least in my opinion. I'm not going to get mad about a video game too much because they are blessings in a first world country. But Saints Row 1 and 2 were very different from Saints Row 3 and 4. So to the people who are saying this is the Saints Row that loses its identity, I really do not know what you are talking about. It has been kind of losing itself since 2011. But I will say the reboot is very different and does not capture the original essence of Saints Row at all. They definitely had the over-the-top action, but a lot of the jokes were not funny. It's a very humorous game, whether you think the jokes are good or bad. Plus, the people who were supposed to be the protagonists did not seem like gangsters at all. In fact, futuristic style Wild West just does not seem to do it for me. I get they're probably going for the Las Vegas setting with a little more cowboy, but the whole formula just seems a little iffy and it's going to fall flat, in my opinion. But it just didn't feel like Saints Row because it wasn't gang really related in a sense. They at least captured the rival gangs idea, which is what Saints Row 1 and 2 were built on. But I'm really going to have to see how well the story is written before I make a final judgment. But when it's two bazookas and not really much gunfire at all, I don't really know what to say, except they did get the over-the-top action part right. But that is just my opinion. This Saints Row has been very poorly received worldwide. I'm pretty sure everyone has their own different takes on why they did not like it. But so much to the fact where the developers are now allegedly asking the public to still buy it anyway, which for a game company is kind of a cringe moment. They obviously had a lot of money and time to revive Saints Row, and when they didn't really capture the tough essence of gangster mentality and made it more feel like a Disney movie with the title Saints Row on it, or at least just a game of Fortnite, that's where I could see a lot of people mad. And I think instead of going back, which I understand it's expensive to go back, but the game developers should have really done their research before they tried just throwing something out there. It does not make it an add-on to the game series if you're just using the title. But if you're asking your public to still ignore the terrible job you did and buy it anyway just because, you should not be in a game development position of that caliber. Me, I'm still probably going to buy it just because I want to see if it is a smash success or just a complete disappointment. But Saints Row really did not need to be revived, especially when it's a bunch of kids with rocket launchers and not gangsters, like if you played the original story were in the game. Gamers just don't make good gangsters, I hate to say it. But I will see how the Saints Row reboot comes out. That's just my 2 cents. But to those who have said that Saints Row just now lost its identity, you really got to go back to 2011 and see the slow burn because it is there. Thank you very much.